27. Hello.
You bastard. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and hello, and welcome to episode either 27 or 2. This will either go in episode 27 of the Reading FC podcast, or it will go into episode 2 of the general podcast, as we're not just talking about Reading, but the first chat and the first main chat we're doing is mainly about Reading. But we'll see how it goes, and we'll see what we do from here. But welcome, and I want to say thank you ever so much for all the support you guys have given us for the previous episode for deadline day, for the analytics. I don't mind sharing you guys of where we think and where we're going. You guys have smashed it on YouTube. It's in our top 10 most watched in the recent ones. And at the moment, as I am recording this, this has, the last podcast has at least 16, which is more than the one that we had before, listens on our Soundcloud. So thank you ever so much for joining us. Thank you ever so much for watching. Thank you ever so much for some of the feedback you guys have given us as well on Twitter and other places as well. We are trying our very hardest to bring players on. Former players, former managers, current managers. We're also open to anyone, any current or former referees, managers. We are open to a majority of people to come on just to have a little chat about themselves. So we could just we want to have a wider open audience to this podcast as well. We are Reading FC fans, and we are dedicating some of our podcasts straight to them. But at the same time, we're also sport fans as well. There are other sports that we like. We don't know the depth on knowledge of some of the podcasts that are around, but we do like to talk about it and do like to have our little bit of an input to it as well. So that's why we're doing that. So don't forget as well, while you're here, to go and subscribe on YouTube, or go and hit that follow button on SoundCloud to get a notification whenever the next video goes live for you guys. And also at the same time, don't forget to give us a follow on Twitter, Instagram. I really need to remember where I am and what social. So don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We're on Reddit, Tumblr as well. We have got a Discord channel as well. Go down below to go and sign up for that as well. And yeah, I'm looking at other things of how to be a little bit different, where to do it. That's why we're on Tumblr, because it's a little bit different than majority of things. So yeah, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode whatever 27 or 2. Depends how I feel when I'm uploading it. So before we go any further, thank you ever so much, Ryan, for doing the podcast we did the other day. He's got good feedback, so we're doing well. But because it was a general one and it wasn't Reading related, hopefully you've had enough chance now to go and listen to the podcast with me and Adam. I can see by that face and no. But please go back and listen to that, where it's very insightful from Adam. And it was a very, really good podcast to have as well. So please, my brother's just text me. So my brother's come back from uni. He's, don't tell Daisy I'm coming. Well, she already bloody knows. She already knows, dumbass. So welcome. So I want to get your take on the Watford game. We're not going to go into much depth about it, but as we did before with the Adam one, but just get your overview of how you thought the Watford game went. And how you thought about it, really?
Yeah, so I spoke to you on the way home today, because we kind of going on about it, and it's nice to actually have a game where we don't have Ajaria or Swift on the pitch, and we don't look awful. Because most people would agree with me. The last few years, we have definitely heavily relied on Swift and Ajaria, and when they don't play well, the team don't play well.
I think we've heavily relied on them too, and we've also heavily relied on Moore as well defensively.
Yeah, but defensively solid. Going forward, done exactly what we needed to do. It's like what we said against Barnsley all over again. We went in with a plan and we stuck to the plan, and it paid off.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I said this on the podcast as well, is people are starting to write us off already. Second tier podcast, I think they're called, put a tweet out about what they thought about the Reading start of the season, and basically they've just gone off facts. They haven't actually particularly watched the game, which is very poor journalism, and I'm not a certain podcast that will suck up to them to bring them on. We will just say how it is and do what we want to do. So for me, I feel like it was very poor journalism. He can say what the fuck he wants to do this, but it just shows how crap their research was of what he said. But I think the funniest thing is not the funniest thing, but the best thing I've seen today was Reading tweeted out talking about on the weekend against Watford. It was Raphael's 50th appearance in a Reading shirt. And in that time, he's kept 16 clean sheets and he's made 164 saves. I want to know if anyone could do the maths or go and do some research or whatever, but is he in the top, is he the top goalkeeper for the first 50 appearances, kept the most amount of clean sheets? I want to know where he ranks in all-time clean sheets with the appearances that he's done. If anyone could work that out, that'd be absolutely epic. I would love to know, because his performance and the way that he played, he's been so vital to us as well. And another thing as well, you look, as I said on the podcast as well, you look at Georgie Puskas. Everyone was
game.
Huh?
He's changed the way he plays
completely. He's completely changed. He's looked at Jow and how that's. Do you know what I was thinking about this the other day? And I didn't say this on the podcast. I was just thinking. Do you think he's changed the way he's played because of the respect that he has for the new manager? He goes, okay, this is the gaffer. But he never changed it for the way that Bowen wanted it, because maybe he didn't really understand what Bowen wanted from him. Do you think that's the type of character is?
I think you're reading too much into it.
I could be. I'm just thinking.
I think it's just he's learning.
Mm.
Whereas before he would always look for goal.
Mm-hmm.
You saw it against was it Barnsley in the last minute, where you had Ajaria in the middle, someone at the back post, and he went for a shot across goal. But it's almost like someone's had a word with him or something, and he's adapted his game to bring more elements into it, and now he sees there's more to it than just scoring.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking of different things and maybe why we didn't see the best out of him and doing different things last season to why we're seeing it now. But he changed that game, and I said this with Adam as well, is the game, he's changed his game, and that he's willing to fight for the team is when he was playing right back. Holmes went back into the middle with Moore and Morrison, and he was playing right back. Just unbelievable. So you're happy with the result? You're happy with how the team played and everything that went on?
Of course I am.
Good lad. Right, let's talk about the transfer window in general. So what did you think of the signings that we've made during this transfer window? So we signed Josh Laurent on a free, Lewis Gibson on a loan. We signed
Ajaria, $2.5 million.
Ajaria and Thomas Estevez on loan.
Alpha Semedo on loan as well.
Alpha Semedo on loan as well. So how would you rate that transfer window? Yeah, how would you rate that transfer window?
If I had to give it a rating out of 10, it's going to be an 8.
Controversial question.
Mm-hmm.
Was this transfer window better than the January one where we signed Martinez, Baker and all of that?
No.
Why?
Because we've actually had 6 months after where we've seen what they've been like. You can't rate someone, or you can't rate a signing without seeing them play.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Gibson, Alpha Semedo and Esteves, however you say it. Estevez. Haven't won a shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Look at right. So I'm always a bit skeptical about loan signings. Reason being, you know, do you remember that summer a few years ago where we signed Ola John, Lucas Piazon, Alex Fernandez? Who else did we have on loan that season? Matej Vidra.
Yeah.
And we had 2 more as well.
Yeah, I can't remember that far back.
But I think, was one of them Jamie Mackey that season? No, Mackey wasn't.
No, Mackey was after.
Yeah, I'll have to have a look anyway. But on paper, that was a very good squad. Ola John at the time was was very, very big signing. And where did we finish that season?
Don't know.
16th,
Mid-table,
17th. I don't think it was even mid-table. So for that reason, that's a question that you'll have to ask me in 6 months' time, in a year's time.
I think the reason why I asked that question is because if I think about the signings we made,
I'm just going to say it quick while you think on your words what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
But how often do you see a team make 5 signings and all 5 of them be massive, massive success?
Yeah, no. I the only reason I said that was, and the only reason I bring that up is because if you look at the ability-wise of Estevez, Semedo, Gibson, Laurent, Ajaria, I never class as a signing because he feels like he's already been here the whole time. Yeah. But with Ajaria as well, this smells bigger and better quality in signing than it did then. Baker was good, and he was very good for us. But if we look about what he did before and what he's done afterwards, it's one of those that it was a bit. He found something, and then it didn't happen with him.
Right. I've just looked just to go back to what I was saying. The 6 loans we had that season, we had Ola John, Matej Vidra, Michael Hector. We obviously sold to Chelsea and had him back on loan. Lucas Piazon, Alex Fernandez, and the other one was Andrew Taylor from Wigan.
Well, he left back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it. I'm very, very optimistic about this bunch of signings because this feels like a bunch of signings that are not only going to slot in really easily into the way that we play, it's also a step up in quality to what we could have had. So with Aruna is a very, very good player, but Estevez is a proper attacking wing. I would class him as a wing back because how many times I've seen him run up the pitch. How I would class him. You've got now Alfredo Semedo, who by all counts that I've seen and heard, he's very much loves to sit in front of the defence and defend, and then spray the ball forward and go forward. And that's something that I think we lack a little bit of, is someone that's just happy. Laurent is good, and yes, yeah. But if we're 2-0 up and we've got 10 minutes left, 20 minutes left, bring him on. Or if we're going away from home at a team like, who could be challenging us this season, Bournemouth, or someone that's going to be very much on the front foot attacking.
In this league.
Yeah, apart from Barnsley now, because their manager's actually gone. But anyone that's going to constantly push us back the whole time, for someone just to sit there and to control it would be good as well. And Gibson is someone that during the December period and the November period, when they come back off this international break, there's very much a Saturday, Tuesday fixtures. So there's have to be some rotation in this team. And to have a quality of maybe a Moore and Morrison dropping out and someone like a Gibson come in, yes, he's young. Yes, he's going to make mistakes. But he also has that quality to make up for those mistakes as well. So for me, I think this is going to be probably one of the best transfer windows we've had. If we get an experienced winger.
Yeah, that's what I say. it's an 8 at the moment because we've done very, very well to keep our key players, especially when from week 1 of the window we had Sheffield United and Villa apparently interested in Swift. Ajaria was very questionable whether he would sign or not. There was rumours that Mate was going to be going.
Sheffield United.
Yeah. And I think we've done very, very, very well to keep our core base of the squad together. And I think the only thing missing is a winger. So if obviously as we're doing this, there's 8 days left of the domestic window. That shuts next Friday.
Mm-hmm.
If we can bring in a winger, then it will be a 10.
Yeah.
Depending on the winger, obviously.
Yeah. Well, I think, depending on but I don't think they're going to be stupid with the window. With the signings that they've done so far, it's going to be a very, very clever, I reckon, youngster that can definitely add something different.
McLaren was free, I heard.
If that fucking happens, I will not buy a game again. So moving on, it has been announced today on the Thursday that Chris Gunter has signed a 2-year contract with Charlton Athletic. And my pettiness went through the roof because he decided not to stay at Reading. He decided to leave and go away. Eddie just tweeted that Omari Luzon, the Israeli youth international who will be coming, is at the training ground now today. Which is pretty good signing for the youth. Centre back, yeah. So he's been told that he'll be training with the youngsters and with the first team to get him, as all the youth, I think, are training with the first team. So he's been signed on a 2-year free transfer after leaving Reading because he thought he was bigger than us to go to a bigger club. And he ended up signing for Charlton. So how do you feel about Chrissy Gunter going to Charlton?
Good for him. Something there really is to it. I'm not going to be going down to the Valley very often this season to watch Chris Gunter. Let's just put it that way.
I wouldn't. If I was.
To be honest, right. If you ask me, if I was in his position, what would I rather do? Would I rather stay at Reading and play 1 in 10 games behind Yeardom? Or would I rather go to Charlton and get first team football? I'd pick Reading because I'm a Reading fan, but he has no loyalties to the club. So if you changed Reading to someone like Middlesbrough, I would rather go for Charlton, where I'm getting first team football, especially with Euros coming up at the end of the season.
Just shows how the mighty have fallen, isn't it, really? Just shows when arrogance comes about, you fuck off down to a lower league. Give it a few days. Gareth McCleary will sign for Charlton. He can't live without his bum buddy, can he? I don't really give a crap. My pettiness of him, I'm a very, very, very petty person. I have no shame in that whatsoever. So when I saw that he actually signed for them, I thought, no. It made me laugh with the mixture of Reading fans, how they were like, "Oh, well, congratulations, you got a top professional," or he could still do a job in the Championship. He is a top professional. But when I see people saying he could still do a job in the Championship, if he could still do a job in the Championship, how come he hasn't got a club in the Championship?
He's got a club that are aiming to get back to the Championship.
Yeah, they signed a 2-year deal. He'd be probably retired by then because Euros would be next season. Get injured as shit.
You even said on here before he's a top professional because he is.
The thing that annoys me the most with Chris Gunter, and I've said this and I'll say it again, is that he is not a brilliant right back. He's not a good right back. He's an average right back. He gives you a 5 out of 10 every week. But the thing that I saw very, very, very contradicting, mixed emotions from Charlton fans in the comments. Because a lot of them were like, excellent signing, this is a brilliant signing, we've got a very good experienced player. And then other people going, well, now in League One, the football style is different. They're more direct. They're more run at you and more attacking based side. And people are worried about him defensively. And I agree with that. He's not amazing defense. He's okay. He's not amazing. If you give him the ball in his own half, and just someone runs at him, 9 times out of 10, he's going to fall over and try and get a foul. He's Guntered it. But I don't think it's a good signing for Charlton. I think they're just pissing their wages up the wall when they could have got someone a lot better on cheaper wages, especially in League One, because there's now a restriction with wage budgets or caps now in League One, and they've just pissed it all up the wall with Chris Gunter. But hey, they'll live and learn. They've also got Lee Bowyer as manager, so. I
think it's brilliant signing for him.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because it's somewhere that they need work on. I don't think his wages will be massive. Yeah, what he left us on.
No, I'm going to say this before, and I got a lot of grief for this on Twitter today, was we offered him a contract.
Yeah, no, I know.
We offered him $5,000 more than what he was on before. And he rejected that because he wanted to stay in the Championship. And he wanted to stay with a Championship team.
You said because he thought he was worth more than that.
Yeah, he was worth more than that.
How do you know he's talking about money, though? Because if coming from me, I think my worth is by how much game time I'm getting.
Yeah, but then you've got to think about it as well at the same time about his age.
But he's 31.
That's quite old for a right back who's going to be any good.
He's still got 4 years ahead of him. Two at the top.
I think he's one of those players that he's never been blessed with pace. I don't think you can class Gunter as someone blessed with pace. I think if you think about it, with him, I think he could do a job in the back 5. If you slot him in the back 3, not as a right back, but not as a right wing back, but if you slot him in the back 5 along that, yeah, he can. I reckon he could do a job there easily, and I think, and especially in League One, he could do a job. But if your if your primary focus is to play him right back and for him to bomb forward and go back, especially in League One, where League One's very known for youngsters and pace, and that's where you sort of look down to go for, he's going to be caught out a lot.
Yeah, I think it's a good signing all round for him. Because, one, like I just said, I don't think he's going to be on mega money. So, yeah, he rejected the £5,000 pay rise with us. But like I just said, how do you know that's because he wanted more money and not because he wanted more game time? He's experienced. He's the most capped Welsh international of all time. He's experienced at international level and Championship. He's even had a couple of a season in the Premier League. Yeah. One, I think. Yeah. One.
That's when we signed him, I think.
So he's experienced. Also, he's that kind of player for the young players at Charlton to look up to.
Yeah. No, I agree on that. Yeah.
He knows people at the club as well. They've got that Johnny Williams, don't they? The centre midfielder from the Welsh.
Was he there on permanent? No, I thought he was there on loan.
No, I'm sure he's there permanently.
Okay. Oh, I thought he's always out on loan. That's why I always guess that he's in loan. No, I'm not saying anything about Chris Gunter as a person. Chris Gunter as a person, I'm a very petty person.
Neither am I. I'm saying he's a good signing. I'm talking about him as a player.
As a player, I don't think he's a good enough sign. I think he's one of those players where you have to play a back 5 with him. I think he's one of those players that, because he hasn't got the pace going forward, he's not great defensively. The thing that I get why people say he's a good signing, and he is a very top professional, and I will hold my hands up and say that I quickly judged Gunter and I got it wrong. And I've said that before on this podcast, and I will keep saying that on that. But my theory behind that is I get why he's left, but at the same time, I find it funny how the squad cohesion is very good and the team camaraderie is very good after all those players have left. Just say it.
I'm an argument for that I'm going to make. Is Gunter last season. Obviously frozen out, and then when Bowen took over, he took his chance in the first team. You can't argue with that. He took his chance in the first team.
Do you think he took his chance, or do you think... I don't think he did. I think he did what Chris Gunter does, a 5 out of 10.
Why did we offer him a £5,000?
Because we had no other fucking right back. That's why because Osso wasn't going to sign a new contract. Yidam was here. Aruna, they wanted to play in midfield. The only reason why we're trying to keep him was because we had no other right backs. And my thinking behind
why wasn't a right back a priority this summer then?
They obviously found out that Aruna is a James Milner of Brazil.
Yeah, but so why did we leave it until deadline day to sign a replacement for Chris Gunter?
I think of all the injuries that happened. If Yedon didn't get injured, Aruna didn't get injured, Thomas Estevez wouldn't have come in.
But then they're players that are already at the club. Why was Gunter playing ahead of bloody Aruna last season?
Because Aruna's not a right back.
He played right back. He come on for Gunter.
He's not a main right back. He is a CDM/centre midfielder who can play right back. It's like saying with James Milner. It's like saying you pick James Milner to play in centre midfield. If there's injuries, you play him right back or left back or centre back. He's probably played striker at some point, James Milner. But Chris Gunter, when he come in, did good. He did what Chris Gunter does, and that's a 5 out of 10 every single week. It's not taking your chance because you're not making people go. At the end of his contract, you never made one red. I'm not speaking for everyone. I'm just saying. At the end of his contract, there was not an outcry. If you're taking your chance, Ozil did this, and look what happened to him. There's not an outcry for them to sign a new contract. When he left, it was like, thank you. All right. There was not an outcry. If you take your chance, and this is the thing that I don't understand with some people is if you go and take your chance, you make people behind the scenes or up in the boardroom or mainly the fans cry for you to stay, and then that gives you a new contract. At the end of it, yes, it does.
No one's ever done that. Not at Reading.
No, not at Reading. But if you think about people that have been offered contracts that shouldn't have, Ozil, Sanchez, when he was at Arsenal, Ozil was doing absolute shit. And then he did a 3-month spell where he took his chance and got offered a massive pay rise and then went back to paying Ozil before. It's the same with Alexis Sanchez at Arsenal. He was doing good, and then he had a bit of a drop-off, and he was like, oh, shit, contract coming to an end. Played massively and was one of the biggest parts of Wenger's reign at that point. And then got a new contract, and then we all know what happened from there. The thing that I don't... Tyler Blackett, if he got offered a new contract, I didn't want him to stay, but if he got offered a new contract, I would have gone, all right. Because But Blackett actually did something when he come into the squad the last season. When he come in, he crossed. He did very well crossing. He did very well defensively. And I'd argue it. Go forward.
I'd argue it and say he done no more than Gunter did.
He got a couple of assists compared to Gunter, I think. If I'm right, did he get an assist against Cardiff? Everyone got an assist against Cardiff anyway. So, but for me, taking your opportunity or when you're on your last year of your contract, you've got to optimize and take your face on. With Gunter, he was frozen out, and when he come in, he did okay. He didn't do like with McCleary. He did nothing. Like Baldock, he's done all right when he's come in. He hasn't. People say he hasn't given the chance. I don't think he deserves a chance, but because we've got so much better strikers ahead of him. But with Gunter, he had what? Was that the December spell? December and January, was it, when he come back in? November, December, January time when Yeardon was out. Did Yeardon get injured at the Birmingham game as well, or the Barnsley game before the Birmingham game? He had January, he had November, December, January, maybe February. I think that's when COVID hit the Premier League and that. He had 3-4 months after being frozen out to go, do you know what? Fuck you. I'm going to prove you lot that, one, I deserve this opportunity to stay in the team, and two, I'm a lot better why Gomez tried to freeze me out, and why you lot have tried to sell me. And you've also got to remember as well, and when he come back, he didn't do that. You have to admit yourself, when he come back, he didn't make you go, oh, right, Chrissy Gunter's on the pitch, all right, he's won me over. He's done well here. I'm looking forward to seeing him.
Again, no one's done that.
Oh, yes, they have.
I can't think of a single Reading player that's ever made me think.
I'm not talking about Reading players in general.
I can't think of a single player that's ever done that for me.
Oh, Sanchez did it for me when I was watching Arsenal. Ozil did it for me when he was there as well. It's the same with Giroud as well when he was getting in his groove. The only reason I say Arsenal is because my mum's an Arsenal fan and I had to watch most of her fucking games. I like Arsenal. I don't care. If Arsenal are on, I look out for their results as well as Liverpool. I look out for their results. But for me, I think there are players and there are times when people get frozen out and they come back in, that you go, all right, okay.
Also, the fact that he was frozen out for 7 months or however long it was, and then slotted back into the first team without any struggle. He looked like he'd been keeping fit.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, he did what Chris Gunter does, and that's a 5 or 6 out of 10. There was never a moment.
He looked like he should be a personal trainer or something.
Yeah, he is a specimen. I'll give him that. He is a specimen of a person. His weight doesn't go up and his weight doesn't go down. But you guys can agree with me or don't agree. I'll be happy to listen to you guys and what you guys want to put in the comments down below. I think you can put it on the YouTube video and you can put it on the Soundcloud as well. Get your guys' opinion on what you think. For me, I think he's very much one of those signings that he never. I think it's one of those players that if you look at the games that he's had, it doesn't reflect about the position he was in. He had no competition whatsoever for that until Yeardon come in. There was no competition to give Chris Gunter at the time. That's why he's had so many games, and that's why he's played for so long.
I'm going to put a different outlook on it. Why has there never been any competition?
Because we've relied too much on him.
But why?
Because they can't be fucking asked to do it.
If it's a problem, you go and sign someone to fix that problem. Sorry, but
Chris Gunter was never a problem.
Let me put it this way. If this season, João scored 20 in the league, Puskas scored 20 in the league, and Baldock scored 20 in the league, would you go and buy another striker?
No. Why would you?
So, okay, let's do it the other way. If Omar Richards got 20 assists, Ethan Bristow got 20 assists, Aruna got 20 assists, and Yeardon got 20 assists. We're scoring a lot of goals. Would you go and sign new fullbacks? No. There we go.
But no, they never got 20 assists, so your logic behind that is false. Because they never made... It was never a problem. It was always one of those where he needed competition for that position, which they never gave him.
Obviously the club didn't feel that they needed.
Yeah, because you look at how shit the club signings of what they've done before and the mistakes that they made. One of the biggest mistakes the club has made is no competition in each position. They relied too much on Abita when he was there. They relied too much on Nicky Shorey when he was there. And he did very well and then went and Ian Hart and there was no competition there. When was the last time Chris Gunter actually had competition? Yeardon, straight into the team and beat Chris Gunter out of it. What does that say about Gunter? You look at other positions as well. You look at up front, Puskas.
I think that...
Hold on. Hold on. You asked this question and I'm going to answer it. Puskas was our main striker last season. And what happens is João comes in, goes straight back into the team. Mite was probably our star right winger. Doesn't even get into the start of the team when he's back because of the performance of Elise. Competition. There has not been a competition for that right back position after Murty left. Gunter come in, I think, or Andy Griffin left, and then Chris Gunter come in. And then as soon as Chris Gunter come in, there has not been no, and that's the one thing. If there was competition, exactly what happened when there was competition, he was out of the team, and then we looked more solid going back and forward.
I think that says more about Yeardom than Gunter, though, because Yeardom...
Maybe. It may say more about Yeardom than it does Gunter, but it also screams as well, if there's competition for a position and you're not good enough or you don't put the effort in, and if you don't show it, you're not going to get into the team. You look at the team right now, right? When we come back off the international break and Jout and Puskas are back, Paunovic has got a headache because Puskas is going away now. Playing 3 games. He's going 3,000. Hold on, he's going 3,000 miles to play 3 games. If he scores and keeps up with the way that he's playing before when he played against Watford, what are you going to do? Because you can't drop Puskas because when he come in, he scored, and you can't not drop, and you have to drop it because it seems like your number 1 striker is Jout. So that's the one headache. Then when it's Swift, Ejaria, or Swift, what happens to it? Elise, Mate, and Aluko. Aluko, at the moment, cannot be dropped because he played absolutely superb. And you can't drop a player. You have to play while they're form. And Rimatona and Lauren, as soon as one of them slip up, Semedo's him. This is what I'm talking about. Then that is now competition in each position. Right back, we've got Estevez. We've got Holmes who can slot in there if he has to. We've got Aruna. We've got Yeardom that's going to come back and might go. He might not even get straight back in Yeardom. If Estevez does really well, or Holmes does it as well. Left back is the one issue I feel like could be an issue, is the left back position. Because we've got Omar Richards, Ethan Bristow, who I think he's 17, and I think anyone that's 16, 17, 18 has to play in the under-23s just to get some first-ish experience before you get into the main team, in my opinion. I hate rushing players into the first team because you look at Danny Loader, we rushed him in and absolutely blew him up. It just never happened.
On the other hand, for that, look at Andy Rinomota.
Yeah, but he was put in and out, and there was competition for his place.
But I mean, they left him out for so long that I think it was actually Clark that left him out for so long. Was it Clark?
I thought Clark brought him in.
No, but the players were saying, why isn't he playing every week?
Oh, I don't know.
Right, so to answer what you said, the season we signed Chris Gunter, we also had... we also signed Stephen Kelly, and we had Sean Cummings at the club, as well as Ian Hart and Nicky Shorey. So there's good competition there.
Stephen Kelly, yeah. Sean Cummings.
That was prime Sean Cummings.
Well, when he come in your face?
Yeah.
Right, let's get on. Let's move on. We don't want to keep talking about him, although he's gone now. So the really big question I wanted to ask you before we get on, well, there's a couple of good questions here that I really thought about today. Is how do you feel now, the start of the 4 games here, than you did at the start of the 4 games last season? So how is your fit? How were you feeling at the start of last season to how are you feeling at the start of this one?
Bloody hell. I can't remember for dinner last week, let alone last season.
Okay, so at the start of last season, it was Gomez in charge. There was a few people left out, but there was a feel-good factor-ish over the end of the season when Gomez kept us up, and we had that Portuguese day for the most beautiful man alive. So what is your feeling? So for me, how do you feel compared to this season than you did last season?
A lot more positive. I think last season it was. I think people were. What's the word?
Pessimistic?
I think people were positive, but there was something else deep down.
Yeah, there was that niggling.
Yeah, there was a bit of doubt. There was a bit of doubt.
Yeah.
I don't really have that this year. After 4 games last season and we went into international break, you felt you felt like something was going to change.
Yeah. Yeah.
This season, I feel like we can come back from the international break and maintain it.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I think my feeling for this season compared to last one was, I think I'm always a very positive person. Okay, I'll rephrase that. I always try and be very positive about the squad that we've got, because when they step out into the field, they're a Reading player, and I try and get behind them no matter what, even if we're playing the third team. But this season, we seem to have got rid of players that. And also, talking of left backs and right backs, Jordan Obita has apparently failed his medical at Sunderland. I heard from some sources are saying. Phil Parkinson wanted him, and apparently he failed it. I don't understand how he's gone to Sunderland either as well, because I thought Watford, Derby, and someone else, I can't remember who else the other team was now, someone else, were after him.
Obviously, just not good enough for the Championship.
Yeah, it's just weird how some of these players are linked to the Championship teams and then end up in the lower division. But it just shows, I think, if we look at this team, it just shows how poor quality we had last season compared to this season, when we've got players that who have left that are going down a division or lower teams than us, and then going above. I think if you look at the players we've got now, Puskas, I think, if you're being sensible, he could get in the top bottom half Prem, top half Championship, any team. Jal, if he's fit, can get into maybe a mid-table Premiership team any day, just because of how unbelievable. Ovia Jaria, mid-table Premiership team. Swift, mid-table Premiership team. Elise, I think he has the potential to be a top-tier Premiership player.
Future World Cup winner.
Exactly. With France, I think he's playing for now. He plays for the France under 17s or something, and his brother plays for England. Fuck me. And then you've got Yeardom, probably top tier Championship, bottom tier Premiership. Richards, if he carries on the progression he's going, mid-table Prem. Morrison, mid-table Prem, bottom tier Prem. Raphael, easily top tier Prem, I think. You just listed. That's just the first team. First 11 they're all top tier Prem, not all of them. Mid tier Prem, top tier Championship players. The players we had last season were top tier League One, bottom tier Championship, and that's the one thing I think is so good. And people moan about Kia Giraffe and the scouts, but the signings we've made so far are better than the players we had before in that position. And that's the one thing I think Reading fans have been crying out for, is if you're going to make a signing, make it better than the person that's in the position instead of what's below it.
You say that, but realistically, we've only signed 4 players.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Lauren, obviously, stepped into a first team.
Mm-hmm.
Ajaria, obviously, here already, so he's not one of them new signings.
No, I don't ever class him as a new signing.
Lewis Gibson hasn't got in the team because Moore and Morrison, 2 of these players that were here last season.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously we can't comment on Semedo.
No, because they haven't even stepped on the bench yet.
Because we haven't had a game to see if they play. But what people are saying, can you see Alpha Semedo getting in this team?
At the moment?
Yeah.
God, no.
Exactly.
Because of the players that are playing in that position at the moment. But if one of them left it, I can easily see one of them lots slotting in easily.
Yeah. And obviously Estevez is going to be playing.
But
no,
I don't think he'll play yet. The only reason I say yet
we're on an international duty.
No. Even when we come back off the international duty, I don't think he'll play for maybe until the Rotherham game. I think we got Middlesbrough first, then we got Wickham, and then we got Rotherham. I think that's how the fixture goes. I don't think he'll turn up until Rotherham. The only reason I say that is because 1, he's never played in England. 2, he needs to gel with the team first before we could throw him in, because we're just throwing him in the deep end then. But I think Holmes will play there until Estevez is up to grips with it. And it's the way with Semedo, and I think it's the same with Gibson as well. Until Gibson gets up to grips with the Championship and the team, he won't come into the team.
I think Gibson is more here to be just in case, and also put a bit of pressure on the players here already.
And I think if you look at the two centre backs we've got, Moore is 30. That easy. Morrison's 33, if I'm right. 33, 34, I think. Just double check. But then Morrison will not be able to play 3 games in a week when it comes to November, December time.
Morrison's 32.
Moore's got to be at least 29, 30. If he's younger, I'll be shocked.
Liam Moore is 27.
Fuck me, he's the same age as me. Well, Moore's fine then. He ain't got to worry about it. Jesus Christ, it makes me feel old when players are the same age as me. But no, so for me, I think Morrison's going to get to a point where he won't be able to play 3 games in a week. And I think that's why Gibson's coming, because he can easily slot in and do, and maybe it won't be too much of a difference. Maybe it might, maybe it won't. We can't comment on that. But from the reports that we're getting from Ancelotti's side and from the Reading camp, is he is a quality player and what he does.
But I'm going to say now as well.
But with you in there.
Yep. I can't remember who it was. Was it Cardiff where we made 3 subs and Holmes and McIntyre got on ahead of him? So that implies to me that he's 5th choice centre back.
Holmes come on as a right back and McIntyre come on as a cam. So I don't think you can. He's not a 5th choice centre back. He didn't want to put him in those positions and trusted and wanted to put more Holmes right back. And McIntyre played as a cam, which still shocks me to this day.
Yeah, but why are you putting them players there? They're defensive substitutions. When you're 2-0 up, you don't bring a centre back on, do you?
Well, you had to bring on right back because Aruna was injured, and I think someone else got injured or got a knock. That's why McIntyre come on. I think it was injury substitutions. That's why them 2 come on. And the reason why them 2 come on before him, I think, was because Gibson is very reliable on centre-back, where McIntyre looks like Paunovic wants to play him everywhere. Anywhere he can. And Holmes looks like a player who can play right. And you can't play a left-footed centre-back at right-back because you're asking for all kinds of fucking trouble there.
But then you could reshuffle it as well because Liam Moore used to play right-back.
But why would you split up the 2 centre-backs that are not conceded? Then you're asking. Then you
sometimes you don't have a choice.
But you do have a choice because you can put Holmes there. That's what I'm saying. You have a right-footed centre-back that can easily slot in there, and that's why Holmes there. Why are you going to split up the 2 centre-backs that are not conceding, who've only conceded once and haven't conceded any from open play this season? And I think they've only 7 shots this season have happened from inside of our box, maybe less. Why are you going to split them up just for an injury when you can makeshift it? You could put, as I would call it, botch it for the time being, and that's why they did that. Another question for you as well, moving quickly on, is do you think we could actually get promoted this season?
No.
Do you not think at all? Why do you not think we can?
Because it's all about keeping the form up. Right, let me say that again. I was reading something. But it's about consistency and keeping that up. And like you said, after the international break, it's going to be 3 games a week.
Mm-hmm. So do you not think this team has not... Okay, I'm trying not to sound like a biased question, so I'm trying to think of the way of putting it. Do you not feel like the team, the way that they're performing as a team and the way they're performing together, does it show that they can get top 6?
You didn't say. Like, it does show that they could. I just don't think they will.
Okay, why? So do you not...
I think there's 6 other teams that if they turn on will have the capabilities of finishing above us.
Like who?
I think Watford showed it against us.
Watford, I think, will be up there. Yeah.
I think Norwich have the players, and if they sort their shit out, they will be up there. That's a big if, and I can see them doing that. I think Forest with Houghton now there will get the best out of them, and they can really turn it around. Cardiff.
Houghton always needs 2 years. Always needs 2 years. You look at what he did at Brighton. He did it. First year he took over, they were near the relegation zone, and then he fought them and got them back. And then the second season, he then got promoted. So for me, I think Nottingham Forest shouldn't. I don't think Nottingham Forest will even be in the question yet, unless he does miracles. Unless he does an absolute miracle and actually gets Tyler Blackett playing. Because I saw the replies about him playing. They were not happy. But yeah, no. But okay, so Nottingham Forest, who else?
I think Birmingham with Karanka will be up there as well. Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Preston under Neil.
No.
Preston under Alex Neil is a good manager, good team. I think if anyone's going to get the best out of Middlesbrough, it's Neil Warnock.
Yeah.
Brentford, if they can keep Ben Rama.
They've still got 7 days, is it? It's for when this pod goes up to try and keep him.
Eight.
Yeah.
Swansea, playoffs last year.
Just.
Yeah. Just. Doesn't matter.
Okay, so...
If we just stayed up a couple of years ago, we still stayed up.
I think you're correct in the team that could turn on, but I think this team is so different to all the ones that you've just named. I think if we drew or drawn one or two of them, that I think the Barnsley game last season we would have definitely lost, and I think the Watford game, that type of game, if we played that last season, we would have 100% lost. But because of this team spirit, and I think what really, really got me excited and really got me going was the at the end when they all were in a huddle all together, and that's the first time I've seen a Reading team do that in fucking years. I can't remember, but yes. So that was one of the things that I was thinking. But yeah, right. Moving on to enough Reading talk now. We've done enough of them. I've moaned about Chris Gunter enough. But we're gonna talk a little bit about England now. So tonight, when you guys won't, this will be a bit late for you guys, but tonight, Thursday night, will be England versus Wales. There is no Gareth Bale. There is no Aaron Ramsey for Wales. Chris Gunter might be playing, might not be playing. I don't know. And also, there is no Jadon Sancho, Tammy Abraham, or Ben Chilwell for England due to them breaking COVID rules. England have left them out of this squad for the testing that was going to make. I didn't know this, and I want to know if you know this, but before a match, all teams get tested 2 days before. And if you don't get tested 2 days before, you're not allowed to play. I didn't know that until I heard that. You learn something new every day. But what do you think?
I'm surprised it's only 2.
Yeah, but I think the results come back within a day for them.
No, they were before, but it slowed down a lot. I had a COVID test done a few weeks ago, and I went at like 8:15 on a Wednesday night. I had the results by 2:00 on a Thursday afternoon, and now all I'm seeing is people saying it's taken like 3-4 days to get their results.
Yeah, but they're athletes, so they'll get it quicker.
Yeah,
that's the only reason.
But the fact that it's still taken from like 17 hours to now 72 plus hours.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you think was right? We're not going to play the game because it's not Reading. But what's the score going to be tonight then?
Don't care.
No, well, we're doing it, so just get over it and do it.
3-0.
No, okay. I'm going 4-0 because Wales are shit. So a game that we're going to talk about a little bit more in depth with is a Nation League game between England and Belgium. So they have played each other. It doesn't actually say in total. Fuck me, I've got to do math. 23 times.
Quick maths.
Yeah, 23 times in total. And England have won it 15 times and drawn 4 and lost 4. But the first ever game between Belgium and England was in 1921. England won it 2-0. It was a friendly. How did we lose if it was penalties? I bet. The last 5 games against England versus Belgium was in 1988. Looks like we lost against them on penalties because it says loss and it was 0-0. So with it, we beat them 2-1 in a friendly in 1999. Beat them 1-0 in a friendly in 2012, and then the World Cup happened. We lost 1-0 to them in the 28th of 2018, and then we lost 2-0 to them where Batshuayi kicked the ball against the post and hit him in the hit himself in the face. That is the best gif I've ever seen. So we're playing them. How are you feeling about the game? Are you confident with Gareth Southgate's men against Roberto Martinez's? Aren't they called the Red Devils?
Yeah.
Against Man United.
3-2 Belgium.
Ooh. I was going to have a little chat about the game beforehand, but all right, let's go for it. So how you so how do you feel about this England team going up against this Belgium team?
It's inexperienced.
But there's also quality.
But I like it.
You don't love it. You love it.
I don't love it. I don't love it.
Okay, so can you quickly get up? Okay, no, that's what she said. I was going to say, can you get it up? But that just sounded so wrong in so many ways. Okay, what was happening there? But no, so for me, I think it's going to be interesting to see how this team goes. I also want to talk about the under-21s. How did they draw 3-3 with Andorra last night? It's AD Boothroyd's managerial excellence there, isn't it?
I was going to say, normally when a team draws 3-3, it means one team scores 3 and so does the other one.
Oh, I'm going to punch you in the fucking face. But we'll talk about the Denmark game on the next podcast because we're not going to do it now. We might do it now, depending on how we go. But I just want to quickly have a look through for fuck's sake, squad announcements. I want to know what the squad announcement is.
I told you it the other day.
I know, but I can't bloody remember. I want to know who I would pick. Dele Alli's not picked up, is he?
No.
Thankfully. Harvey Barnes has been called up. So has Bakary Saka and Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Tell you the full squad.
Yeah, because I want to say who I don't think the team that plays against Wales will not be the team that plays against Belgium.
Right, so we've got goalkeepers: Jordan Pickford, Nick Pope, Dean Henderson.
I reckon tonight will be Nick Pope.
I think it'll be Henderson.
Yeah, but the only reason I say Pope is Pope's played for Burnley and Henderson's only played one game against Luton in the Cup, I think. I think that's the only game he's played for United this season.
Defenders: Alexander-Arnold, Mings, Trippier, Dyer, Gomez, Walker, Keane, Cody, Maitland-Niles, Chilwell, Saka, Maguire and James, but obviously no Chilwell.
I wouldn't be surprised if I see Maitland-Niles and Saka play right back, left back. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I think so.
And I wouldn't be surprised as well if Tyrone Mings and
Maguire.
Maybe Maguire, maybe Keane.
No, I'm thinking Maguire because he got dropped from last squad, didn't he?
Yeah, he might, but then at the same time, he's been playing for United. And we all know Southgate loves Maguire. But yeah, no, I think maybe it'll be between Keane and Maguire to start tonight.
Midfield, you've got Rice, Mount, Winks, Ward-Prowse, Calvin Phillips, Jack Grealish, Harvey Barnes and Jordan Henderson.
I reckon Calvin Phillips will play tonight. I think Calvin Phillips...
I hope Ward-Prowse does.
Yeah, I think it'll be Calvin Phillips, Ward-Prowse and Mount. And I reckon the front three I think it will be Grealish, Calvert-Lewin. Who the fuck else have we got up front? Who could play on the wing?
And forwards, you've got Kane, Sancho, Rashford, Abraham, Ings, and Calvert-Lewin. But obviously, no Sancho.
Rashford. I reckon Rashford will play then. So Rashford will play left wing. Fuck me, I don't know now. Grealish might play right wing, maybe, or swap it around, and then up front will be Calvert-Lewin, I think, because there's no Abraham, there's no Sancho.
I reckon we'll go for a classic 4-4-2.
No, or he'll play three at the back. He will play three at the back, or he'll play a 4-3-3. That is what Gareth Southgate's done so far, and I reckon that's what he'll finish.
I reckon it'll be Mings, Cody, and Maguire. With the two fullbacks you said.
I can see that.
Then two in midfield, I reckon it will be Rice and Ward-Prowse.
Or Rice and Phillips.
Rice, Ward-Prowse, with Grealish just in front, and two strikers of Ings and Kane. Or Calvert-Lewin.
I hope it's Ings and Calvert-Lewin. I think they both deserve the chance.
He's not going to drop Kane, is he?
Well, no, he's got two other games coming back. I've just seen, right, I'm going to quickly revert it back to Reading chat. Reading apparently in talks with Man City centre-back Joel, fuck me, that is a name, Lati Budura, who is expected to leave the club on a permanent basis in the next week. Norwich are also in talks, apparently, as well.
Lapidid.
Yeah, can you see who I'm on about?
Yeah, Latibordier.
Yeah.
Latibordier.
I'll have a look about him in a minute. I'll put a graphic up on the Twitter and Instagram page. Check that out later on today. You'll see it already. But anyway. But yeah, according to Manchester Evening News, Reading are in talks with Joel on a permanent deal. He's a centre-back but can also play full-back. I'm not against it, to be honest.
You know, there's that trend on Twitter at the moment where it says how it started and how it's going. So, Niall Reading 106 on Twitter's put how it started, how it finished.
Why is this talking about? Oh, here we go. City defender talks with Norwich and Reading as he appears to be nearing next year. MEN Sports, understandably, will leave the ETA before the domestic deadline for the EFL clubs with a permanent deal expected to be completed early next week. Lebretta spent last season on loan at FC Twente. Well, that guy in the youth and then probably work his way up. Fair enough. I won't be against that. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to the game against Belgium. So you're going 3-2 Belgium. I'm going. Oh, do I be optimistic? My head's telling me it's going to be like 2-2, or it'll be 1-1. But I want it to be 3-1. But we can't defend, so we'll see. Right, let's talk a little bit now. Moving on to a different sport. We are now going on to Formula One. So we're just going to have a little chat about the upcoming race, and then on the Monday's podcast we will on the Wednesday podcast we will go through it all and sort of tell us our thoughts about that, and that's where we will divulge in the other sports as well. Math just put something that's quite really. Anyway, let's talk about this weekend at Nuremberg, right? So, you excited for this weekend?
Not really, no.
Oh, you're a fucking bundle of joy to do this podcast with, aren't you? So the last time that they raced at Nuremberg was in 2013, and the winner of that was one Sebastian Vettel at Red Bull. It was 2 years before that, 2011, where Lewis Hamilton won. 2 years before that, it was Mark Webber. 2007 was Fernando Alonso. 2006 was Michael Schumacher. 2005 was Alonso. 2004 was Michael Schumacher. 2003 was Ralph Schumacher. Not his brother did one though. 2002 was Rubens Barrichello. 2001 was Schumacher. 2000 was Michael Schumacher. In 1999, the last one before Lewis Hamilton was Johnny Herbert, the F1. I think he does the Sky Sports commentary, doesn't he? Where he does the punditry on Sky Sports. He was the last person before Hamilton, a British winner of it in 1999. So I'm quite excited for this one because apparently it's quite an eventful race I've heard and what I've seen as well from it as well. So my question to you is, who will be the top 5? Who will get top 5 pole in qualifying? Qualifying we're talking about, not the race.
2 Mercedes at the front.
Mm.
In other news, water is wet.
Yeah.
I reckon Verstappen in 3rd again.
Apparently it's going to be wet this weekend as well. And we all know Mercedes don't do very well in wet.
Yeah.
Like they did at Silverstone. But
I reckon the front 4 will be Mercedes and Red Bull.
who's finishing 5th? If you had to put it on one person, who do you think is going 5th? I think I know. Isn't Michael Schumacher's son starting this weekend as well for Alfa Romeo?
I don't think so.
I heard that he was. Right, carry on.
I thought that was for next season.
No, I thought he was just coming in because Antonio Giovinazzi couldn't make it for some reason.
Oh, I was going to ask about that, but I thought he was joining next season.
I thought
in 5th, I reckon. I'm going to say Kimi Räikkönen.
Jesus. That's a bit of a shout, that is. Why? Because of his history with the track? Or what's making you want to go with... What's making you want to go with him?
History, good driver. He knows how to do it.
Wait, hold on. I'm going to pause the recording for 2 seconds so I can do some research.
Because there's also...
Okay, so we're back live. We've worked it out. We think that he's just driving the practice car. But yeah, so this is how much of a knowledge we have of Formula One but we like to have a chat about it, and we're going to go for it. So my top 5 will be Bottas, Hamilton, Verstappen, Perez, Albon. I think Perez is always quick in qualifying, just never does it in a race. It always messes up in a race. So how are you looking forward to the race? So who do you think is going to come top 3 then? Who's going to get the top 3 overall? Do you think Lewis will win to beat Michael Schumacher's? Because I think if he wins this race, he beats Michael Schumacher's most wins.
You know what? I'm going to put a bold prediction on the line now.
Go on.
DNF.
You don't think he's going to finish?
Either that or he'll be out of the points.
Okay.
Verstappen's had very hard luck the last few weeks, so I think he'll...
You think he'll get top 3?
I think he'll actually make it past 20 laps this time.
Hopefully.
I think he'll get on the podium, yeah.
So you're going Verstappen, Bottas?
Bottas and... Perez.
A guy that won't even have a car next season. Don't think so far. House and Alfa Romeo are still working out their drivers for next season. I saw a statement where someone said that Kimi Räikkönen has exercised his right to drive again next season for Alfa Romeo, and Kimi's just gone, "No, I didn't." That's the answer. No, I haven't. I haven't decided yet. It's like, do you know what? So my top 3 is going to be Lewis. I want Lando Norris to be there. I really want George Russell to be there, but that's just being too optimistic. Oh, fuck, that's my desk. So I'm going with Hamilton, Bottas, Albon. I think he's starting to wake up a bit now, Albon. So we'll talk about that a lot more on the Wednesday podcast. We'll have a little review on that. So maybe Ryan will actually give a shit about it when we talk about it on the Wednesday. So we'll do that. But just before we leave, just a little conversation. I want to get your reaction to this. NFL. So 2 or 3 players have been tested positive for the coronavirus. 13 Buffalo Bills players have been tested positive for coronavirus.
Help.
I know. I saw that. I didn't really. I heard that there was 8. I heard that it was 6 when I was looking at it yesterday. But then I googled it, and apparently in total they've had 13 positive cases the past week. So have you been watching much of the NFL this season? Have you watched any of it? I think if you,
It's too late. It's way past my bedtime.
it starts at 6.
That's way past my bedtime.
It starts at the first. I watched the 2 games, and then I don't watch the rest.
At the moment, there's football. There's an 8 o'clock kickoff on a Sunday, isn't there?
Yeah, I don't watch it.
Or 7:45 kickoff on a Sunday.
On the game, I don't watch it.
So I've been watching that instead.
I don't really watch because always the really late ones crap. And then I say that, but then the Aston Villa Liverpool game, which I was like, I'm not watching that. Liverpool going to steamroll that, turned into a 7-2 game. I was like, fuck me. But for me, I think this season Kansas City are up against Las Vegas Raiders tomorrow, so that's another win for Kansas City. They look like an absolute wrecking team this season. Them and the Vikings look like an absolute. I reckon that will go down. Might go down to the Super Bowl. Might do. Buffalo looked quite good the other day as well. When I watched them, they look really good. But did you see Did you hear about the Dallas Cowboys? So the week before against Atlanta, they were 25 points down in it, and they come back to win it. And the last team that lost that such big lead was Atlanta in the Super Bowl against New England when they completely fucked up that final. But they did a game where Dallas Cowboys
that was the final that Jeannie Bouchard, the tennis player, tweeted something about Patriots won't, like, it's basically a done game, and someone tweeted back saying if Patriots win, we're going on a date, and she was like, "You're on." Do you not remember that?
I heard about that. I think I remember about it a bit, but
they're still friends, which is quite funny.
That's pretty cool. But no, so Dallas Cowboys went up against Cleveland Browns. And Cleveland Browns have been on a bit of a roll recently as well. And this time, Dallas Cowboys were, 21 points behind and got back into it again. And then they made a massive mistake. And their running back to win it was none other than Odell Beckham Jr., who absolutely annihilated them at the end. But I'm looking forward to this weekend. It's going to be an exciting weekend of sport. Let's put it that way. We've got England tonight, Thursday, when you guys have watched this, but we watched the day before. But we've got England on the weekend as well. I think they're playing on the Sunday. Sunday they're playing. So it'd be nice to watch that. We will watch the NFL as well. Bit of Formula One as well. So hope everyone has a lovely weekend. We will review everything that we've done today. So you better watch it, Ryan, and have some enthusiasm when we do it on Wednesday. When we review it on the Wednesday, we will go through it all and then go through it. On the Monday, we are hopefully, touch wood and whistle, hopefully we'll be having Courtney on Monday for you guys to talk through a little bit about how he's feeling about the season's going, a little bit about any transfer updates, because there's a week left on it to go through. If he's got any transfer updates, if he's got any news, how he's feeling about everything else, and then we will be back Wednesday to review the England games, the NFL, the Formula One, anything happening sporting-wise over the weekend as well. And next Friday, we will be back to review the Reading game against Middlesbrough, where we will be talking that and talking about other games that are coming up as well. So thank you guys ever so much for watching. Thank you ever so much, Ryan, for being a part of it again. Thank you ever so much to everyone coming back. Please don't forget to go and follow and subscribe all of our social media pages. And please don't forget and subscribe all of our... Fuck me, too many words. Subscribe our YouTube and follow our Soundcloud to get notifications when we go live. Don't forget that there's a bell on the top right over here, I think, up here, where you can put notifications on for when we release our videos that go live. So please go and check that out as well. Thank you ever so much for all of your help and support and feedback that we're getting from you guys. It's been very, very helpful. And we look forward to seeing you guys. I presume this tweet is from you. Oh, no, it's not. We look forward to seeing you guys on Monday. All love, all care. Take care of each other and peace, because I really need a poo. Bye.
Bye.
I didn't end it. Okay, cool. I'm doing an extra long one because this is a special.
It's
Bye. I know. Bye. I wonder how long people actually watch this exit and